Mark Malone will be with us
throughout the night. He'll have in-depth looks at key matchups and trends in his spotlight segments. The Eagles have won the toss. Chris Gardocki having an unbelievable season to kick to Witherspoon and Say. Witherspoon can't handle it. And they'll down it in the end zone. For the Eagles offense, Ty Detmer has shocked the critics with his poise, toughness, and ability. Off the bench to be the NFC's fourth-rated quarterback. 13-year veteran Irving Fryer having a career season. His 74 catches moves his total to 636, 11th all-time in the NFL. And up front, Raleigh McKenzie, the essence of a veteran. Tough, consistent, durable. Tonight, his 92nd straight start. Rodney Peete, who went down with the injury to give Ty Detmer the opportunity to run this ball club. 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Detmer, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Blitz on the first play. Detmer is stuffed at the 10-yard line. Steve Morrison blitzing. There's a flag down. Well, the Colts came with everybody on the first play.
They called intentional grounding on Detmer.
Intentional grounding. Number 14 of the offense. 10 yards. Lost it down. Second down.
A big part of what Indianapolis wants to do, Mike, is they want to bring pressure up the middle to Detmer. Here they come. That's Trev Albert coming up. That's Herod coming up. And Steve Morrison, number 52, winds up nailing him. And Tony McCoy almost had himself an interception.
All the linebackers came. Great start for the Indianapolis defense. Detmer with a lot of time here and throws over the middle. Chris T. Jones up to the 21-yard line. For the injury-riddled Colts defense, Tony Bennett leads the line in tackles, number 2 on the club with 5 sacks. Jeff Herod, the only starting linebacker able to play. He's been the number 1 tackler on the team for 7 of the last 8 seasons. And free safety Jason Belser, the only defensive starter to open every game. He's been very consistent, has over 90 tackles on the year. Richard Dent has checked into the lineup. That is Tony Bennett, the 2 pass rushing specialists for the Indianapolis Colts on 3rd and long. Detmer throws complete. He's got the first down. Freddie Solomon with a catch, but there is a marker down back in the area of holding. And that's what it is. Oh, illegal hands to the face.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Number 96 of the defense. The penalties declined. First down.
Dent says, who, me?
Yeah, he's playing like, did I do that? Now he looks up at the diamond vision. Here he comes around the corner. He's working on Barrett Brooks. Now he's pushing and pushing. You can't really tell. There it is. Yeah, he's got it up a little bit. Just a little bit.
Richard Dent saying he is already looking forward to training camp next year. His knee is getting stronger all the time. Big first down for the Eagles. Waters with his first carry. Across the 40 to the 41 where Steve Morrison, the free agent out of Michigan, makes the tackle.
Michael, when you talk to the Colts, almost to the man, as well as Jimmy Johnson, their defensive coordinator, the thing that they're focusing on is they feel like they have to stop Ricky Waters. They think if they can shut down the Eagles' running game, they can dictate to Ty Detmer when he wants to throw the football, as opposed to being able to throw it at will now.
Waters, number 1 in the NFC, number 3 in the NFL in rushing. And look at the touchdowns. He has been so productive. 2nd and 7. Waters off the right side again. Cuts it back, runs into a lot of traffic. Picks up only a couple. Tony McCoy, the first man in on the defensive stop. And if you saw this team play against Buffalo last week, what a show of courage and guts that this team put up.
They've been doing it all year. Think back to the Dallas game when they have 4 or 5 starters out of that one.
Right.
It's the same kind of effort. And this 3rd down and 4 is exactly what the Eagles try and shoot for offensively. Now you have to defend the entire field, and that's what puts pressure on the defense.
Solomon is in as a 3rd wide receiver. Four-man rush. Detmer with time, throws incomplete right off the hands of Freddie Solomon, who was wide open, and Detmer hit him in stride.
That's all you can do as a quarterback, Mike, is put the ball where it belongs. And that's what, really, that's why Ty Detmer has been so effective. He reads the defenses so well, gets the ball out in front of a receiver, gives him a chance to run with it. You just got to make the play.
Hutton to kick to Brian Stabline, who waits back near his 10-yard line. The Eagles' coverage teams have been awful this year on both punts and kickoffs. It's really hurt them. Boomer by Hutton this time. He crushed it and knocks it all the way through the end zone. 56-yard punt, but only a net of 36. The Colts will have it at the 20 when we come back.
The NFL Special is brought to you by McDonald's, official break of the NFL. By Beck's, taste German beer at its finest. Beck's, America's favorite German beer. And by Travelers Insurance. What we all want, Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to.
The Colts will start their first possession at their own 20-yard line after the Eagles failed to move it deep and punt it. Marshall Faulk. Nice hole up the middle, and he pounds out to the 25-yard line. For the Colts offense, Paul Justin got his first come-from-behind win last week. He showed a big arm and the ability to protect the ball. Rookie Marvin Harrison has given the team a second big-time receiver. He learned the offense quickly and has great speed. The offensive line anchored by 12-year veteran Kirk Loudermilk. Smart, tough, and a very good run block. Paul Justin, very impressive a week ago. Justin, play action. Rifles that one to Dawkins. And Dawkins to midfield. 24-yard gain.
Good play action pass by Paul Justin, but good protection by Tony Mandris, number 79, on William Fuller. Just stones him. Dawkins runs into the soft spot of the zone right in front of Dawkins. Dawkins tackling Dawkins. And Dawkins is on the ground.
Only one catch away is Sean Dawkins from matching last year's total.
26.
First down, another Faulk carry. He's buried 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That Eagle defense features Mike Mamula, who is becoming a complete player. His specialty is sacks. He has 6, but he also leads the linemen in tackles. William Thomas is the MVP of the defense. He made the Pro Bowl last year after 7 interceptions, number 1 among NFL linebackers. And Troy Vincent was the club's top free agent acquisition, a superior coverage man. He's tied for the club lead. He has 3 interceptions. And there is Emmett Thomas, who probably isn't going to be wearing Eagle colors for a lot longer. He is on a short list for every NFL job opening. Justin steps up in the pocket, almost intercepted. Right into the hands of James Willis, the middle linebacker, and he couldn't hold it.
Mike, all 3 of the linebackers of the Eagles really run well. William Thomas, you've got Ray Farmer, and James Willis. Want to go down the middle to Kent Dilger, number 85. He bounces off of the Zordich. Now he comes in. Does a good job of staying with him. Willis just hunts him up and moves along with him. Almost had the pick.
He was released by the Packers, originally a 5th-round draft choice, and picked up as a free agent. 3rd and 12. Eagles show blitz, may have jumped. Flags are down. Justin throwing the bomb for Harrison. He invented a lot of contact, and that will be interference. Troy Vincent running stride for stride with a speedy Harrison, and this could be a huge play for the Colts.
It could, Mike, but you know what it is? It's a great job by a rookie, Marvin Harrison, trying to get back to the football. He took an inside angle on Troy Vincent, and when he saw the ball go over his right shoulder, he tried to run back.
Offside. Defense. Defensive right end. Penalties declined. Pass interference. Defense. Number 23. First down.
That's a 39-yard penalty.
And you'll see, watch how Harrison tries to work back there. Vincent's just giving him a little incidental contact, but now he sort of holds him back with his hand and doesn't let him get to the ball. It's a good try by Marvin Harrison to try and get to the football. Convince the official it was interference.
Also credit Paul Justin with going up top after he saw the penalty flag. Falk.
Big hole left side, Marshall Falk. Touchdown. Watch number 81, Marcus Pollard. He does a terrific job of standing up Dawkins. And now you see the hole. Now that hole's created, but this is some great downfield blocking. Sean Dawkins just creates a wall. Bobby Taylor can't get Marshall before he goes in the end zone.
Kerry Blanchard for the point after. And it's 7-0 Indianapolis. Marshall Faulk's 5 previous rushing touchdowns were for 1 yard apiece. This one was for 13. The grasp is that Marshall Faulk has been hurt very badly. A toe injury doesn't seem like much, but for a running back, it's huge.
Oh, it is, Mike. And, you know, this is the first, last week was the first time he told me he felt like it finally felt like he could make some moves on it. But when you think of a toe injury, picture a quarterback with a bad thumb trying to throw the football and grip it. It has the same effect on your performance in the game. For a running back, you have nothing to push off on. For a quarterback, you wouldn't be able to grip the ball.
Witherspoon at the goal line. Breaks the tackle across the 30 to the 32. Join ESPN next Thursday for a night of gridiron greats from Walt Disney World in Orlando. It starts at 7:30 with the Pro Bowl selection show as Mike Tirico, Joe Theismann, and Tom Jackson announce this year's Pro Bowl squad. Then at 8:30, join Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Kirk Herbstreit for the Home Depot College Football Awards show as they honor the top collegians of 1996. It's a night of gridiron greats next Thursday night, beginning at 7:30. Philadelphia takes over just outside its own 31-yard line. Waters is in the slot. Blitz the pass to Turner. And Kevin Turner has become a big part of this offense after being injured a year ago. You remember when he played with New England, he had 52 catches in 1994. He's a big-time receiver.
And he also has added an awful lot to this offense. What you're going to see here is, all right, now the Colts want to come after Ty Detmer up the middle. Fine. We'll clear the tight end out, and we'll let Kevin Turner just go. He usually would be in blocking, but John Gruden, the offensive coordinator, figures that Detmer can get the ball off. Charlie Garner, number 30, checks in for the first time. And he'll get the ball. Garner with outstanding speed, trying to get outside, can't do it. Waters that time used as a blocking back. Yes. Michael, what the Colts try and teach when you got a runner like Ricky Waters or Charlie Garner is you got to keep your shoulders square. Watch the defensive linemen as they flow to the ball. See their shoulders? See how they're sliding like on a piano? Right there, freeze it. See how his shoulder's just a little here, but you got your shoulder square, you got your shoulder square. That's what you have to do if you're going to be a good pursuit team on defense. Oh, and that's all footwork, too. They're at the Colts' 49-yard line. Showing blitz. Detmer changes the play. They back at him. Detmer, quick throw, has the completion to say, but he's only down to the 44-yard line. That's about 3 yards shy of a first down.
Dedrick Mathis made the tackle. Well, you can see the intelligence of Ty Detmer.
Absolutely. I mean, he's going to get people to football. I mean, you watch him throw in warm-ups, Mike, and he doesn't overpower anybody. The ball just comes in nice and perfect. He's just going to get it out to guys where they can turn and make plays. It's going to be the 5- or 6-yard completions that will turn into big plays for the Eagles tonight if they're going to make them.
Call it 3rd and 3. Detmer throws short. Irving Fryer lost the ball, then got it back. Now they roll it incomplete. Fryer bobbled the ball. The official says he never had possession to begin with. Would have been a first down for the Eagles.
That's the second time that Ray Rhodes' ball club has had a 3rd and short, and the receiver has dropped the ball. Off to the right of your screen, take a look at it. Irving turns to run, and he may not have had total control. Good defensive job, just coming up and knocking the ball out by Damon Watts, number 36.
13-year veteran Eugene Daniel was there to help take it away from him. Stabline will go back to the 10-yard line as Hutton will try to pooch one. A little bit of a sidewinder and knocks it out of bounds near the 15-yard line. And right at the 15. Marshall Faulk and the Colts offense will be on the field when we come back. 7-0 Indianapolis. For our ESPN Thursday night special. Colts start from their own 15-yard line. Faulk is the split out to the right as a flanker. Gross the setback. Gross will get the carry. Pounds his way straight ahead. Paul Justin, if you look at his resume, the biggest thing on it, World League MVP in 1995 until last week when he got his first fourth-quarter comeback win as an NFL starter.
I remember, Mike, when we did a game here a year ago, talking to Bill Tobin, the GM of the Colts, he said, Paul Justin is a guy that's going to help us a lot and can really play in this league, and he's proved it.
He was impressive a week ago. He didn't refuse to make the big mistake. Justin, quick set to Faulk in the flat up around the 20, and then driven back in a hurry. Nice tackle by Troy Vincent.
But also, Mike, that's what a limited Marshall Faulk does. If he's got 2 good feet, he makes that catch, he squares down and tries to put a move and go one-on-one. Here, the only thing he can do, concentrate on the catch, take the yards that are there, come on back to the huddle.
Joe, he had 4 plays a week ago against Buffalo that I think he would have broken for touchdowns if he's healthy. This is not the real Marshall Faulk. The real Marshall Faulk has a chance to go to the Hall of Fame if he can stay healthy. 3rd down conversions. The Colts have virtually nailed it in all year. Rush on Justin, and he's sacked. The big rush from William Fuller. Fuller with his 10th sack of the season.
What he does now is he comes up, takes a hard outside, and then boom, comes inside. Watch this. Come on up the field, come on up the field, get Mandridge moving his feet, and then just put the little club on him and run Justin down. That's something that Mandridge is going to have to be conscious of. He's better off trying to let Fuller go around the cup than trying to get him upfield, move his feet, and come hard inside.
Chris Gardocki to punt out of the end zone. Mark Say waiting at his own 40-yard line. Gardocki, number 2 in the NFL in punting average. What a beauty. Up near the rim of the stadium. Say at the 41. And gets it back to the 47. Mark Stock, the special teams demon, to make the tackle. Fuller now with 10 sacks on the year. Joe, you and I have covered football for a long, long time, been around the game. I've never seen a team that has been hurt this badly. On offense, they have used 19 different starters. Look at the number of games missed. These are guys they counted on all year. Defense, it's even worse. 22 different starters, and only 5 of the 11 are starting tonight. This team should be something like 3-10.
There's one of them, Ray Buchanan.
He's their best cover guy in the secondary. Eagles start from the 47. Detmer under pressure. Waters can't come up with a screen pass. They had it set up pretty well.
That was Trev Alberts coming from the outside. We saw him on the first play of the game, blitz up the middle. Now this time he comes around the corner. Basically what they're doing is they're making Barrett Brooks block on the corner. Okay, you're gonna have to block Bennett over there. Now come around. Watch from the right part of your screen. Tight end releases. Trev Alberts goes. Detmer doesn't even have time to get the screen off.
Four-man rush this time. Waters in the flat. High stepping down to the 46-yard line, about 3 shy of a first down. Diedrich Mathis makes the tackle. Rookie second-round draft choice out of Houston, and Waters slow to get up. Real slow to get up. And oh man, Ricky's in another zip code right now.
Last time we saw those eyes was on Stan Humphries last week.
Yes, sir.
Swings it out to the right. As he puts the move on, he's going to take a knee right to the head. Right there. Right in the back of the head, he got a knee. That's Trev Alberts coming in, number 51. You'll see the knee gets, the right knee just nails him in the back of the head.
Waters now able to stand up, but he is walking very gingerly. And as seriously as concussions are taken now, I would be amazed to see Ricky Waters back in this game.
This kid is a gamer, too. I mean,
I know.
I know he shoots his mouth off. You know, I was talking to him earlier. He says, hey, people just misunderstand me a little bit. Some of the stuff, it's hard to misunderstand. But this is one tough son of a gun.
Take one more look. You'll see he gets it right in the back of the head with the knee from Alberts. And you can see the concussion just between the knee and the helmet. Waters being tended to, and that means Charlie Garner is in there on 3rd and 3. Detmer, quick set to Fryer, first down. Belser makes the tackle, but it's the 38-yard line.
That one they held on to. The 2 previous 3rd and shorts, the ball was dropped. That one they held on to. Again, Ty Detmer, real quick, 1, 2, 3, ball comes out in a hurry. He knows where he wants to go right now, looks off real quick for the safety, sets and fires. Irving knows where the soft spot is, just settles on in.
And what did he say last night? I would have loved to have played this offense a long time ago. Charlie Garner cuts it outside. The pursuit is there. And how fortunate are the Philadelphia Eagles in this day and age of salary cap to be able to have a Charlie Garner to come in when Ricky Waters goes down.
And talking to John Gruden, their offensive coordinator, earlier today, he describes Charlie Garner as his secret weapon going down. There's young John. You talk about candidates for head coaches, Mike, of Emmett Thomas being one.
Yes.
There's another one.
Ricky Waters being treated on the sideline. Ray Rhodes knows that both of his coordinators are probably not going to be around very long. Here comes the blitz. They do a nice job of picking it up. Then Detmer's buried, but he gets the pass off to Jones. Chris T. Jones down to the 16-yard line. What guts by Ty Detmer. He knew he was going to get it, held it just as long as he could to find the open guy.
This quarterback, both quarterbacks are not going to be hard to find tonight. They don't run out of the pocket. He just stays there. He sees the blitz coming. Now watch this. He throws it sidearm. He just throws it sidearm out. I mean, that's not classic. That's not pretty, but it's effective.
Works,
that's what you want. Yes.
Garner tripped and then belted down after a gain of a couple. The Eagles have done a good job in the red zone this year. 56% of the time they have scored a touchdown. That is 10th in the NFL. But Ty Detmer, surprisingly enough, only has a 73.6 quarterback rating inside the 20.
Yeah, but that's because of that right there, the completion percentage. You watch now, one of the wide receivers will cross underneath. That's what they like to do down in this area.
2 wideouts, 2 tight ends. Safety blitz. Detmer throws too high for Fryer. He was being covered man-to-man by the rookie Diedrich Mathis.
Dedrick Mathis is not going to jump Irving Fryer. He's backed off him a lot. There's a lot of room to work there, and he plants. Now he just takes a position. Now, the reason why that's not pass interference, in my opinion, is the defensive back has as much right to the ground that he's standing on. And it looked like Irving, without moving his feet, the defensive back had it. Irving might have run into him.
Dedrick Mathis is lucky Fryer didn't make his break earlier. Detmer throws to the corner, and Fryer can't get there. He was open.
That's just great pressure by Tony McCoy and Richard Dent. Tony Bennett, Richard Dent, and Tony McCoy. Watch them all converge. If Detmer has time to set and throw this, it's a strike. But here they come around the outside hard, and he just can't set his feet.
This will bring on the 15-year man, Gary Anderson, number 4 on the all-time NFL scoring list. And he will try a 31-yard field goal. Out of the hold of his punter, Tom Hutton. High snap, Hutton got it down, and Anderson knocks it through. So the Eagles get on the board, and it's 7-3. Let's check in with Mark Malone. Mark?
Mike, you talked about how the Colts wanted to disrupt the Philadelphia Eagle passing game by inside pressure. Let me show you how they've been effective with that so far tonight. Colts defense in our spotlight, and they've done it with linebackers. Steve Morrison, after the 2 linebackers clear the way, comes free. Hits Detmer, a grounding call there. You'll see him coming in out of your screen again. You'll notice the tackles go wide and leave that alley open. And when the 2 defensive tackles rush without any linebackers, they're not getting any pressure at all on Detmer. So far, the numbers with their scheme of inside pressure: Eagle pass attempts 13, quarterback pressures 4, 2 of those up the middle, quarterback hits 5, 3 of those up the middle, and they also want to get their hands up. That's part of the strategy, to try to knock the ball down from Ty Detmer. They've got to do it with linebackers, Joe, and that's going to leave them in man coverage.
Well, you know, Mark, what they have to do is they've got to make sure that the center and the 2 guards now protect the middle. That'll be McKenzie in the middle. You got Panos on one side and Holmes on the other. Those 3 guys have got to protect Ty so that he can at least step up. Doesn't matter whether the defensive line or linebackers are going to jump. They just have to stop that pressure back in his face.
And you see so much more of the linemen jumping up in this short set West Coast offense, because very rarely on a 3-step drop you're going to get even close to somebody. Aaron Bailey to return the kick. Bobbles it, kicks it around. It's still loose. The Colts recover back at the 13-yard line. Aaron Bailey just couldn't find the handle.
And oh, is he lucky. Oh, is he lucky that Pollard was heads up making the play for him.
Marcus Pollard pounced on it. It seemed to be on the turf forever.
Well, this is one he should have let go. He can't get to it, so he sort of one-hands it. Now he's trying to pick it up, and he kicks it around. This looks like something that's in a blooper film.
And will be.
I think he just made his first movie. Hank Kuhlman, the special teams coach, can't be pleased with that one.
The Colts have started at their own 20, their own 15, and their own 13. This is a team with all their injuries that needs to control field position, and they haven't done it. Falk on the draw. Marshall Falk. Vincent dumps him at the 28-yard line. Troy Vincent made the tackle. I tell you what, that may have looked like a good run. That's still not anywhere near what Marshall Falk did.
But Mike, he shows great patience. That's the first thing he does. He stays behind Mandrich, gets inside now. Now he turns that speed on. They can't catch him. Good blocks by the wide receiver. Remember, it is his right big toe, and that was the plant foot as he made the turn. I would say from that indication, Marshall Falk has just gained back some confidence in his ability to run the football.
Led the nation in rushing twice out of 3 years at San Diego State. Justin, the quick out to Falk, trying to set up a flanker screen. Dancing around and can't get anything out of it. Nice defense by the Eagles. James Willis, the first over there to make the tackle. Coming into this game, Marshall Falk had gained 390 yards this year. He had 3 games in college that rivaled that entire total. 386 against Pacific, 300 against Hawaii, 299 against Brigham Young. That's just a remarkable athlete, a remarkable running back.
And he's big, Mike. He's not a slight guy. He's a big guy.
You hear people talk about a fourth gear. He's got fifth. Justin with a lot of time to throw. Guns it complete to Harrison. This kid can fly. Marvin Harrison to the Eagle 48-yard line. A gain of 24. Paul Justin has a gun, doesn't he?
He has a gun, but it starts up front, Mike. What great protection up by the guys, the guards in the center. Loudermilk, Lewinberg, and Waddell. Great job by the center and two guards, giving him a chance to pump it. And boy, when he did he fire it.
He's got that semi-sidearm delivery, but as you mentioned about Detmer, form doesn't count. It's results. End of the first, 7-3, Colts. Over the Eagles in a huge game for both teams with major playoff implications riding here. The comparison between Ricky Watters and Marshall Faulk. 2 rushes, 6 yards for Watters. Faulk with the big edges. He's already run for 33 yards and has a touchdown. The report on Ricky Watters, a slight concussion. He is expected to return. I said I would be surprised if he came back. I've been surprised before.
I'll tell you, he is one tough guy. I guarantee you, that was the word from Ricky more than the Eagle bench.
Oh, I don't doubt his willingness to come back in the game. Gross the single setback. And Cliff Gross, the fullback, will get the carry. Full slate of college basketball Saturday on ESPN beginning at 12:30 from the ACC as Wake Forest battles NC State. Then at 7, the border war between Indiana and Kentucky. And at 9 p.m., the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Ole Miss Rebels. Boy, Indiana looks tough. Vince Workman has come into the ball game. He's number 46 for Indianapolis. And the pass intended for Harrison is wide.
Boy, and Paul, you see Paul Justin walking towards him. And anytime a quarterback walks towards a receiver, and this is like classic Dan Marino. Danny does this a lot. When somebody does something, he's going to him. He wanted to walk over to him and say, look, you got to work outside. That's where I expect you to be. And all receivers ever do. Nobody ever answers you. They just sort of shake their head. They don't answer.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Indianapolis just outside the Eagle 45. And Justin is going to have to use a timeout as he looked up at the play clock, which had gone down to 3. Timeout on the field, 7-3 Colts.
Special is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. We keep America running. By Packard Bell, the world's #1 selling home computer. And by Isuzu, equipment for real life.
The underdog Indianapolis Colts with a 7-3 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. 14:20 to go first half. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, our entire crew with you. Jeff Lurie, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, looking on. 3rd and 8. Blitz. Justin throws complete. Stabline with a catch, and he is body slammed by the rookie Brian Dawkins. Ouch.
Again, Mike, you don't get to throw those passes unless you get protection. Jason Matthews, who's as a natural right tackle, is playing the left tackle side, is up against Mike Mamula. What he basically does is just lay his body on him and lock into him. Mamula's got to get his hands off. Good job by Stabline. Look at that. I mean, his momentum carried him 4 yards.
Dawkins is going to be a star, according to Ray Rhodes. Took over the starting job in the 3rd game. Faulk on the draw. Beautiful spin move, gets him down to the 30, and you can tell he is better than he was earlier in the year. He couldn't have made that move a month ago.
The other thing is, Mike, he's running left. He gets to pirouette on his left toe. He's going to be coming towards us here. Watch this move. The left foot's going to be the pirouette toe. See it? The little spinner right there. That's what allows him to pick up the 5 yards. I think that toe's feeling a little better as every quarter goes on.
2nd and 4 for the Colts. Falk swarmed at the 30, dove forward to the 29. Michael Zordich was there. Ray Farmer, the rookie out of Duke, also there.
Lindy and Fonnie's offense, Mike, is not that dissimilar from the Eagles. Both offenses like to use 5 receivers out. I'm sure he'll put a lot of people out into this pattern on 3rd and 4. Both quarterbacks can be found very easily. They're not going to scramble and run around. Of course, without Jim Harbaugh here in this offense, you don't have that running aspect, but you still have the ability to pick up to 3-4 yards if you make a quick read.
An impressive drive by this club. They've taken almost 5 minutes off the clock on nearly 60 yards so far, trying to add to their lead. 3rd and 4. Justin in the flat to Falk, shakes a tackle. First down. That is all Marshall Falk.
Lindy and Fonnie features him so much as a part of this offense. He wants to get him the ball 45 to 50% any way he can, running or catching. This is just an excellent catch first. Now comes the move from Dawkins. Let Dawkins use his momentum. Gives you an idea how strong Marshall Falk is too.
Did you see he came to the sideline and Lindy and Fonnie is standing there, just pointed back to the field? Yeah. Get back there.
No, Marshall.
And Troy Vincent is hurt for the Eagles. Came up slowly. Tremendous free agent acquisition, getting him out of Miami.
I thought that Troy Vincent's addition to the Eagles secondary is what could put them over the hump and contend for a title. Now they've got 2 excellent corners in Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent.
2 guys who can be physical, who can play man-to-man coverage. I mean, they've got all the weapons, but right now Vincent came up limping.
He gets it watch from the right side of the screen. That's number 23 coming in. He gets that knee up in the air and just gets it knocked around.
Vincent comes out. That'll bring Don Griffin in to play his position at that corner. Such a big game for both these clubs. The Eagles tied for first in the NFC East. And the Indianapolis Colts, one of 3 teams with 7-6 records in the AFC. And only one of those 3 is going to get in. There are some other teams behind them, but they're going to have to run the table to have any kind of a chance.
You know, that big win against Buffalo last week means nothing unless they can do something tonight. And that's really where you are at this stage of the season for everybody.
And they're doing it so far. 1st and 10. Falk dives to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Mike, there's a case where people talk about Mike Mamula just as a pass rusher. This is a terrific job of taking a hard inside and blowing up Marshall before he ever gets a chance to get going. He just comes off the ball hard inside, makes a terrific play.
Coming into this game, Joe, he had 59 tackles. That's number 1 on a defensive line that includes Rhett Hall and William Fuller. The kid can play the run.
Oh, yeah.
He is undersized at 252. Flag is down. Justin throws for the end zone, knocked away. And Harrison actually turned into a defender that time and knocked it away from Bobby Taylor.
Going to call tripping.
Hollis Thomas was applying the pressure on Paul Justin.
Offensive linemen wind up with tripping penalties when they don't have necessarily good, quick feet. You just can't get them out there. You just throw out something.
We have a tripping foul. Number 64 of the offense. 10 yards. Repeat, 2nd down.
They had declined the penalty. That's Doug Widen.
Doug Waddell is right there. Now, keep an eye on the feet because that's where they call the tripping. Watch his left foot. There's his left foot. Oh, that's a bad call,
yeah,
Mike.
It sure is.
I take back what I said. I apologize to all offensive linemen publicly. That's a bad call.
He's blocking his man. He has no control over anybody else.
He doesn't know if somebody's rushing from somewhere. That's horrible.
Or could care less.
That's horrible.
2nd and 21 as they get the down over. Justin to Dawkins. Sean Dawkins tackled by 3-4 Eagles. short of the 20. Bobby Taylor led the charge.
We talked about Ty Detmer's ability to run Philadelphia's offense and pick out people quickly. In this case, Paul Justin realizes it's 2nd and 20. Why try and go for it all? Let me just take a part of it. Lindy gives him a pass that he can complete, get off in rhythm, does a good job of reading the defense and picking up now what can be a makeable 3rd down, 3rd and 9.
Lindy Infante was running this offense before anybody ever came up with the West Coast offense.
He really is. He's truly a genius when it comes to offensive people, particularly teaching quarterbacks how to play the position.
3rd and 9. And they'll whistle the play dead. Boy, Justin's got an arm. That baby got there in a hurry.
Then Harrison's got some hands.
Snap. False start. Number 67 of the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
It's Jason Matthews, the left tackle. He doesn't like the call either.
It's a position that he still is having to learn. He's a natural right tackle, but you see him try and get the jump because he realized Mamula has such great outside speed.
It's only his 3rd game at left tackle. He's out of Texas A&M, 3rd-round draft choice in '94.
You might say, well, why don't you just look at the ball? No, he can't be peeking there if Mamula's outside.
No, he's cocked away from the ball, too. 3rd and 14 now. Justin to Bailey. Bailey dives to the 12. That's going to be very close to a 1st down. Credit Aaron Bailey with knowing exactly where the sticks were and fighting for that yardage.
Got another Eagle down.
That's Brian Dawkins.
Aaron Bailey is going to sit down right in the middle. Now, Mike, he's about 6 yards short of the 1st down. He makes a good move to get away from William Thomas, and then he just muscles his way to try and take Dawkins the extra distance. Now, Dawkins winds up getting hit by his own guy.
James Fuller.
Fuller will come flying in and just twacks him.
And it happens so often. Defensive players hurt their own teammates as much as they do offensive players. Well, that was not a good mark for the Colts.
Yeah,
they didn't get the better of that one.
But this is a good decision by Lindy Infante. You've got to realize you're in a dogfight.
Absolutely.
And every point's going to count. Being a hero down here trying to go for it doesn't make any sense. This is a good decision.
So the Eagles have now lost Troy Vincent and Brian Dawkins on this drive. We'll get reports on these guys as soon as we can. Ricky Waters already suffering a concussion. There's Vincent up and walking around. He came off limping.
And also, you know, talk about the decision by Lindy Infante. Kerry Blanchard, if there's a guy who deserves to go to the Pro Bowl, this guy does. 31 of 35. And it would be poetic justice for what they did to him in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would be the perfect way for him to go. And it's not a gift. He's earned it.
The first time we ever saw him kick, we said, this guy is going to be a kicker for a long time in this league. And how about Chris Gardocki, his teammate? They both should be going to Honolulu.
Absolutely. Both of them have posted the numbers to earn it.
Blanchard has hit 31 out of 35 this year. The league record for field goals is 35. Blanchard sneaks this one through on the right side. His 32nd field goal of the year. And the Colts, with a long clock-eating drive, take a touchdown lead. 5 wins as a backup quarterback. Craig with 4, Gerback and Berline with 3 apiece, 29 and 29 overall. Here's Rodney Peete, whose injury created the backup situation for Detmer. Witherspoon on the return. Dumped shy of the 20. And speaking of backup quarterbacks, we may have started a new category tonight as Paul Justin hit his hand on Rhett Hall's helmet on the last play. Kerwin Bell and Jim Harbaugh, the only other available signal caller.
Take a look at this. Watch when he makes the delivery. You're going to see Rhett Hall right there. See it right there? He hits the top of his head. It's like giving him a right cross, except he's got his helmet.
Justin icing down that hand. is back in. And he'll get to carry. Ricky Watters for 5. And what you hope right now for Ricky Watters is that he doesn't get dinged again.
No, but looking at him move around, you sense he's very conscious. You'll notice his eyes are a whole lot different than they were when he went off. I mean, they were big, and they looked like those deers caught in those headlights.
They're normal size now. Yep. That is Kerwin Bell, who would get the call. Harbaugh, the emergency quarterback. And they don't want to play Jim Harbaugh. He is still too injured to do that. Detmer with a deep drop. Rifles, and Fryer couldn't hold it. Ray McElroy on the coverage.
I wouldn't necessarily say that a 15 to 20 yard pass that Ty has to throw that hard is his strength. His strength is reading the defense and moving around. This ball is thrown a little bit behind Irving Fryer, but he should make these catches. Watch, the ball's coming in behind him a little bit, but that's the second one that he's put on the ground.
I asked Fryer what was the difference in catching a pass from Ty Detmer or Dan Marino. He says, I don't get yelled at as often when I drop it.
He keeps putting him on the ground. He will, though.
He'll get yelled at. 3rd and 5. Detmer can't find anybody. Has the first down out at the 36-yard line. Richard Dent chased him down.
Mike, whenever you talk to a coach about Ty Detmer, the one thing that they bring out is this guy has a great awareness of football. There's a case where he's basically going to stay in the pocket as long as he can, but he realizes he can pick up the first down, so he goes and makes the play like a football player. That's what Ray Rhodes really likes about him.
7:40 to go in the first half. 10-3. Here comes the blitz. Watters against it. Stuffed after a gain of maybe a yard. First man there was Trev Alberts. And got some help from Bernard Whittington, number 95. There's Jim Harbaugh. I feel so badly for him because we were all so happy for him a year ago when he gained the title of captain comeback, had such a brilliant year, and he has just been beaten on all year long.
And in talking to him this week at workouts this week, he said he hopes he'll be back by Kansas City next week. I'm a little bit doubtful of it, but the guy's a miracle man.
Watters goes in motion. Detmer to Fryer, dropped and intercepted. Picked off Jason Belser. Touchdown. The only Colts defender who has started every game, and another one off the hands of Irving Fryer, Joe.
Mike, you talked about the fact that he didn't get yelled at as much. This ball is not a perfectly thrown ball, but you got to make the play. You got to make the play. He's got 3 of them that he's dropped tonight. This one cost him big.
Belser's 2nd interception of the year, the 8th of his career. And the Colts, who could hold practice on a hospital ship, have taken a 17-3 lead. Irving Fryer and his offensive mates have a lot of work to do. Indianapolis as Jason Belser goes 44 yards on an interception return off the hands of Irving Fryer, and it is 17-3 Colts, who were left for dead with all their injuries. They beat Buffalo a week ago, and here in their last home game, they are on top of the Eagles by 14.
You just can't say enough about the job Lindy Infante and his staff have done getting these guys ready to play.
Whittington 3 yards deep. Or Witherspoon, excuse me. And Gardocki, another nice kick.
Mike, this offense that the Eagles run is based on timing a lot. The ball gets out quite often before the receiver gets his head around. That's Ty Detmer on the right. This is Irving Fryer coming off. Now Detmer is set to go. But see, Fryer's already got his head around, and Detmer is just now releasing the football. So you can't say that he didn't see the ball to have a chance to make a play on it. And of course, you know, Ty knows, hey, you can't throw them all perfect, but that's the 3rd one that's bounced up in the air. I'll tell you, he keeps going like this, he's going to think Dan Marino was quiet compared to Ty.
Yes, sir. Garner and Turner in the backfield together. Charlie Garner on the toss. And the Colts swarm. Underneath the pile was Steve Morrison, 52. He made him jump, and Steve Martin, another rookie, was there with Whitting.
I don't believe that you can run sideline to sideline on this defense. Watch how they keep these shoulders square as they pursue. Watch the defensive line. Look at everybody. Here it is. Watch this right here. Look at shoulder square, shoulder square, shoulder square. There's nowhere to go but up for about 3 yards. Great pursuit. Jim Johnson's defensive philosophy is keep them square.
Ricky Waters back in the lineup. Detmer throws short. Alberts makes the tackle on Chris T. Jones out at the 28-yard line.
For the Philadelphia Eagles, we've now reached the most exciting time of a game for them, or I should say the most anxious. It's 3rd and 3 or 4, where Ty's going to have to go back, pick out a receiver, and try and get him to catch the football. Very uncharacteristic of a Ray Rhodes football team.
Third and 3. Here comes the blitz. Detmer throws. Fryer has this one and gets the first down at the 35. Tony Bennett was there, so was Ray McElroy.
That was the same blitz that they opened the game with, realizing that Ty's going to want to go short. What he does this time is he slides a little bit out of the pocket, has everybody picked up. Good job by the backs and the offensive line, and he'll slide to his right. Here comes the blitz again. Everybody up the middle. Great job. Great job by Turner, but also by Raleigh McKenzie. He blocks 2 linebackers that time.
Waters. And there just isn't much there in the ground game for the Eagles tonight. They are the 10th best rushing team in the NFL. Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman with the fastest 3 minutes in television. The review of last weekend. Peace in Major League Baseball. Thought we'd never say that, didn't you? NHL, NBA updates and highlights of everything that's going on.
Big games coming up this weekend. The Boomer's going to tell us all about.
2nd and 8. Clock running, 4:07 to go in the half. Waters, nice move to get free, and he has the first down. Dedrick Matthews made the ankle tackle.
You know, Mike, I think if there's one area that has fallen off a little bit for Ricky Waters, it's been the receiving part. He's worked so hard on becoming a good blocker and a real disciplined runner that his receiving skills, you just don't have enough time. And he's not as natural and as fluid as I saw him when he was in San Francisco. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
He just doesn't look as clean moving around.
That may be because of the added weight also. Garner and Waters in there together. Detmer, that one's tipped and intercepted. Trev Alberts to the 39.
Steve Morrison, number 52. A linebacker comes around outside, jumps in, tips it.
An unbelievable turn of events for the Colts defense. Detmer's 2nd interception of the night.
Steve Morrison comes off the outside. There he is on the phone telling the coach exactly what he saw. And this is the way he executes it. He's outside. He's going to come inside. They don't block him. And he's just going to jump up in the air and with one hand tip it. He comes clean. Ricky Waters can only block one, and you block the most dangerous to the quarterback. That's the inside rusher, Trev Alberts. ESPN's Trev Alberts showing his athletic ability.
Alberts out of Nebraska. Cliff Gross is in there. Marshall Faulk is out as a flanker. Paul Justin back at quarterback. Remember, he injured his hand. Justin hit as he throws for Dilger, incomplete. James Willis came right after Justin. Don Griffin on the coverage. He may have hit his hand again.
He's gripping the ball pretty well. He gets it up. That one was just hit on the arm that time. That's the reason why the ball comes out looking like a goose.
And Dilger still almost got there.
But see, again, he was talking to Marvin Harrison. He was telling him something.
Eagles show blitz and come with it. Justin throws complete to Harrison. Harrison at the 23, first down.
You know, that completion goes back to the incompletion before. When the play was over, he puts his hands up and he says, hey, if they come after me, Marvin, you got to make a play. But it doesn't happen unless you can get blocking from the backs. Here comes the blitz off the corner. Marshall Faulk just holds up and does a great job protecting him. Good route by Marvin Harrison. Terrific hands. He's built for this kind of surface. He's low, and he makes unbelievable moves off of it.
First down, Colts at the 22. Back in the eye. Faulk, nowhere to go. Fuller came up, William Thomas came up in a hurry, and they pounded him. Troy Vincent, the medical report on him, a bruised knee and a strained groin for Dawkins. They are both questionable, so half of the Eagles secondary out of the ball game. 3/4 of the starting secondary for the Colts didn't start at all.
The thing is, Mike, is when you play on Sunday and have to play on Thursday, your legs don't get a chance to come back. If there's one area that coaches worry about for their players on a short week, it's the legs.
The NFL's best pregame show, NFL Countdown, every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. as Chris Berman and the gang will preview all the action. Then at 7 p.m. it's prime time, where you'll see all the highlights of all the day's games. And at 8 p.m. we'll be in Detroit as Barry Sanders and the Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings. And the Vikings, of course, still in the playoff hunt. Game over 500, trying to stay there.
Lost a tough one a few weeks ago to
Denver.
I think they got Denver beaten. Ed McCaffrey just plucks one out of the air to make a touchdown and win a game for him.
And this is huge in the playoff race. The Eagles, with a win tonight, would go into first place in the NFC East. The Colts would get a step up in the wild card race in the AFC. 2nd and 13. Justin incomplete. Faulk set out again as a flanker.
Boy, he gets it out.
Oh,
I mean, you know, if you compare Detmer and Justin, it's like talking about a wedge and a driver. I mean, it's just boom. That's the wedge. It's Ty Wedge Detmer.
I like the wedge.
And then you got Paul Driver Justin on the other side.
I like the driver too.
I tell you.
We always talk about where the good young quarterback's coming from. You'd have to say, after seeing them a couple of weeks, these are two of them.
A couple of them here.
Eagles defense needs to do something here on 3rd and 13. 2:10 to go in the half. Justin throwing for the end zone. Harrison was open. The pass was overthrown. And Justin ended up on his behind again.
Yeah, but Mike, he showed great discipline with the pump and go to hang in there and let Marvin Harrison run his route. But the other thing that he showed me is he's not going to throw it short and turn the ball over. He's going to give Kerry Blanchard a chance to add some more points. He's just playing a good, solid game.
As he did a week ago. Kerry Blanchard, just a tremendous record as a field goal kicker. This would be his 33rd of the season. Only 2 short of the league's all-time record for a single year. Oh, no doubt. Just drilled through. He was hitting 58-yarders in practice. For him, 42 is a chip shot.
Indianapolis Colts offensive tackle Tony Mandridge in our Packard Bell Spotlight. He was the much maligned guy, the big bust in the NFL, but he's got a new attitude and a new technique. Let me show you how he's had the success tonight. Watch his hands. This is textbook. He sets hands out. He gets him right on the defensive end, rides him around the pocket. Here's the only play in the game he's gotten in trouble. Hands down to the side, giving ground. Look at this. William Fuller takes the momentum and throws him out of the way, the hip toss. That's the only play he's had bad tonight. A good effort by Tony Mandridge. Mike?
And Mark, really a remarkable comeback for this guy for being away from the game for 4 years. And he came back to play football because he loves the game.
Exactly.
Gardocki, low liner this time. Eagles with trouble. Witherspoon inside the 15. There is a marker down.
That's going to get called on Jason Dunn, number 87. He takes Pollard, number 81, and just pancakes him. Pushing the back. Danny Smith's special teams have struggled most of the year. Every now and then they jump up with a big effort.
Receiving team on the return. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
Jason Dunn, the rookie tight end.
Timeout for injury.
There's Pollard down the middle. There's Jason Dunn. I mean, the standard rule is if you can read the name, you better not hit him. And Jason wasn't able to do it.
Phil Yeboah-Cody, backup linebacker who was just re-signed, is coming off the field. Let's go back to Mark.
Thanks, Mike. We were talking about Tony Mandridge. Of course, the Colts having a lot of success throwing the football tonight. A lot of it's due to that man. He's only given up 1 pressure and the 1 sack, but out of 25 plays, he's got no help. He's battled William Fuller most of the night on his own. They've run behind him once for 15 yards. This is a guy that has really improved his game, as you mentioned, has a love for the game now. And give some credit to Ron Blackledge, the offensive line coach, who spent tireless hours trying to get this guy's technique back into shape so he can play in this league. Mike?
Mark never saw anything like him in college at Michigan State. He could actually, as an offensive tackle, could alter a ball game, and did on many occasions. He said the difference was when he came out of college, he wanted the money, he wanted the glory, he talked a lot. It's totally different now.
And Ron Blackledge has really worked tirelessly with him. And a lot of credit to him, too, for getting that offensive line patched up and ready to go.
The Eagles backed up to their 5-yard line. Detmer underneath to Turner. Ouch. Turner is blasted at the end of the tackle by Tony Bennett.
And Ty Detmer is a master at the 2-minute offense, Mike. You'll see him run this thing as well as it can be run.
That one's tipped. Richard Dent got the hands up.
Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, told me if we can tip 5, we will have done a good job. They've got 2, 1 for an INT so far. And John Gruden talked about Richard Dent being his big problem tonight. Barrett Brooks has got his hands full. Richard just goes so far and then makes the play.
Number 3 all-time in sacks in the NFL. Detmer on the roll to get away from pressure. Fryer forced out of bounds. On 3rd and short, they got the first down. Diedrich Mathis forced them out.
Indianapolis just has to be smart. They can't give up a big 15 or 20-yard completion. It's going to be tough for the Eagles to go 82 yards and get a touchdown. If they can hold them back to a shot at a field goal, then they will have done their job.
1:30 left in the half. Detmer hit as he throws. It's incomplete, intended for Fryer. Richard Dent applying the pressure. Don't worry about Ty Detmer. When he was hit earlier in the year, right after he became a starter, Lamar Lathan drilled him, and he said, I'm going to be bringing it all day. Detmer shot back, I'll be here all day. Keep bringing it.
Well, Dent's going to be the same way, but he's going to use his hands. Watch Richard Dent's hands. Has great ability. Here, focus on his hands. Watch him knock him away. See that? Look, he just takes that little swat, goes all the way around. He used to do that to me all the time.
Blitz. Detmer rolls away from it. Throwing on a run. Somehow that got through to Solomon. 2 Colts dove right between and across Solomon, and the ball got through. Clock running, 1:07. Detmer throws to Jones. He's got it and takes it down to the Colts' 48-yard line. It's a first down. Ray McElroy with the tackle. And the Eagles have used their second of 3 timeouts.
This is now the offense that they tried to run early, picking up the short stuff, dumping it off, moving it down the field a little bit. What the Colts have to be careful of is not putting pressure on Ty Detmer and allowing him to set back and find the hole. They have to continue to come after him, jump up, and make him get rid of the football.
ABC's Monday Night Football comes your way at 9 Eastern. One of the most intense rivalries in all of football. The Kansas City Chiefs invade Oakland to take on the Raiders. Jim Harbaugh looking on as the Colts defense has done its job tonight.
And the Colts offense. Taking advantage of the opportunities. Yep.
2 interceptions that they turned into points.
Richard Dent looking like he did back in the late 80s. Oh, he used to harass me.
You weren't alone. Here comes another blitz. Morrison airborne, couldn't get there. This one's intercepted by Belser. Jason Belser with his 2nd interception of the game. And the 3rd for Detmer.
Ty Detmer makes a critical mistake for quarterbacks, and I'll say it until I leave this earth. You can't throw back across the grain. Every now and then you get away with it, but most of the time bad things are going to happen. You want to see somebody sell his body out? Watch Steve Morrison. He gets blocked, but he's selling out. Now the pressure comes. McCoy is chasing him. See how he throws back across his body? You've got nothing but problems when you do that. Maybe you complete 1 out of 10. But the defense gets a chance to react.
Everything is a game of angles, and that's the worst angle in the world. It just lets too many guys have a shot at it. The Colts, their 3rd interception of the night so far, 10 points they've turned in off the turnovers. 45 seconds to go in the half. Justin to the shotgun. To Falk in the flat. And Marshall Falk gets out of bounds in front of Zordich at the 44.
Do you know how well Paul Justin knows this offense, Mike? You could see him on that play looking down the field. Then as soon as he felt the pressure from the left, he just turns and whips it out with a perfectly thrown ball. Like I've said, I think that's the toughest throw to make for a quarterback, is to hit a running back swinging out of the backfield in stride.
Big night for Jason Belser. The Colts have come up huge defensively the last 2 weeks. And Indianapolis will need about another 23 yards to give their field goal kicker a chance at a 50-yarder. Falk on the screen. Diving toward the sticks and out of bounds to stop the clock with 32 seconds to go in the half. Blanchard in warm-ups was hitting shots from 58 yards. And over 50 this year, all he is 4 for 4.
And you know what'll happen? If it's a 49-yarder, if he feels like it doesn't disrupt the kicking rhythm, he'll move it back to 50. That's how much confidence he has in that number.
Well, he can go get the suntan lotion. He's going to the Pro Bowl.
God, I hope so. There's another guy who spent a little time in Hawaii.
The last 2. 20-3. Justin, quarterback draw to the 47-yard line. Mamula made the tackle, and the Colts will stop the clock with a timeout. There's one that caught him by surprise.
And Mike Mamula makes a great play here. This isn't a good play. This is a great play, because Paul Justin is going to run another 10 or 15 yards if he doesn't catch his foot. Mike Mamula on Jason Matthews. He starts up. Now he reads the quarterback draw, and he just sells out. And look, there's nobody in front of Paul Justin. He's got a lot of room to roam if he doesn't get him.
Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman along with the fastest 3 minutes and our weekend preview, excuse me, of next week's games. Major League Baseball piece in our time. And an update on the National Hockey League and the NBA.
Mike, the Colts have one more timeout left. What they can do is they can try and throw a pass, maybe a little swing pass, get somebody to the sidelines out of bounds. Then they can try a pass down the middle to use that timeout. That would be the sequence of the next 2.
Ball spotted just inside the 47-yard line with 26 seconds to go. Three-man rush for Philadelphia. Justin incomplete. Harrison couldn't hold it at the 35. That would have gotten them within Blanchard's field goal range.
I tell you, Paul Justin is playing with so much enthusiasm. He throws this thing incomplete, and he becomes a jumping jack. He just, oh, geez, I'm so mad at myself. I love to see people compete. This kid is competing. Good numbers. Good, solid numbers.
He said last week, I wanted to make the play. Speaking of competitors, Justin said last week, I wanted to make the plays, but I didn't want to make stupid mistakes and put the team in jeopardy. The philosophy is carrying over. Screen to Falk. Nice job behind his blockers down to the 38-yard line. The tackle made by Sylvester Wright, and Justin will kill the clock with 12 seconds left.
Lindy's got a decision to make here. There's no timeouts left. There's 12 seconds on the clock. All he can do is tell Paul to try and throw it somewhere where somebody can get out of bounds, because I don't believe that they can get the kicking team on the field. And I also don't believe that he would have enough time to get up under the center and spike it. So this is very critical what he does with the football.
It would be a 55-yard attempt from here.
The discussion between coach and quarterback at this juncture is, if you've got it, get rid of it in a hurry. Don't take a sack. If it's not there, throw it away right now.
So Blanchard will go back and get a couple more practice kicks with Chris Gardocki. Blanchard's long this year is 52. Justin with time, throws to the outside. Harrison with the catch. Got it to the 34-yard line. It's a first down, but it shortens the field goal to 51. And there's 7 seconds left. Do you try it again?
Why not? I think, if you do, you're in trouble. I say why not, but it wouldn't be the smart thing. And so far, the Colts have played smart football when they've had their hands on it and had opportunities to score.
And there is no reason to believe that Kerry Blanchard will not be able to kick a 51-yard field goal.
You got the best kicker in football this year. Take advantage of it.
No doubt at all. Kerry Blanchard blasts one to give the upstart Indianapolis Colts a 23-3 lead.
Watch this thing from the goalpost cam, Mike. This is just a rifle shot. This thing doesn't have 8 revolutions. It's just fired through there. Man, that thing is it's like a hard fade. You got a lot of golf analogies. I mean, it's just a hard fade going out there. But boy, is he pumped.
That's his 34th field goal of the season, one shy of the NFL record.
But what's so impressive, it's 5 for 5 over 50.
It has not been the best first half ever for Irving Fryer. 3 balls have hit his hands and come out. Arguably all difficult catches, but catchable nonetheless.
And, it changes what Detmer does, too. If he makes a couple of those catches, you keep some drives going, and he doesn't have to throw some of the balls that he's had batted down.
Ray Rhodes knows his club is in trouble. Jason Belzer already with 2 interceptions, double his season's total, and a touchdown return. And Morrison has just been flying all over the place, starting for the injured Quentin Floriat. Only 5 defensive starters in the lineup tonight. The lateral to Witherspoon. He'd have rather not had it. That's the end of the first half with the score, 23-3 Indianapolis. Now let's join Chris Berman for the accurate halftime report. Colts over the Eagles, 23-3. As we get ready to start the third quarter, Gary Anderson will have it teed up for the Eagles, and deep to receive Aaron Bailey, waiting at the 2. Bailey up to the 5. And Bailey gets it out to the 28-yard line. Take a look at the first half stats and really the total yards and just about everything on that page even. But the big penalty, the pass interference penalty against Troy Vincent, set the tone early and allowed the Colts to move close to their first touchdown and the turnovers. 3 interceptions and 13 resulting points for Indianapolis. Belser with 2 of those interceptions, 1 for a touchdown return. Ball drilled by Fuller. Falk had a big first quarter, 33 yards, gained only 2 in the second quarter. Keeping track of the 2 superstar running backs. Falk now with 35. Waters with only 16. 15 receiving. Waters has a jammed thumb and a slight concussion so far.
And the 6 receptions by Marshall Falk is a telling difference.
And those aren't swings out of the backfield either. They've had him out as a wide receiver. Justin on the roll. Throws to Harrison. First down at the 42. Don Griffin had to make the tackle.
Paul Justin is a pocket passer, but he has the mobility to move if necessary. That time, Marvin Harrison does a nice job of working back to him. He goes and sets in the pocket, feels the pressure. Now he just slides. Harrison gives him a good target. Tony Mandrich continuing to do a good job at right tackle.
Paul Justin making the 3rd start of his career. And the Arizona State graduate making a big difference for this club. Justin again. Late over the middle, incomplete to Falk. And Lindy Infante not going into a shell with a 23-3 lead.
You know, Mike, there was the knock on Tony Mandrich was that he couldn't move his feet. He didn't have good feet. Now he's going to get up with William Fuller. He's going to get in a little shadow boxing. All right, I'm going outside. I'm going inside. He's just getting those arms out. Gives him a little bit of a pop, keeping good distance, and sliding his feet over to make the play. Doesn't really cross him much. That's good footwork by a big guy.
Mandrich, after 4 years off, making a comeback. Vince Workman, number 46, into the lineup on 2nd and 10. Play action, Justin, pressure. Throws, Dawkins pulled up short, and the pass went long. In the 1989 draft, Tony Mandrich was taken 2nd overall by Green Bay. Look at the other guys. Aikman, Sanders, and Derek Thomas. You've got to say they've already got their tickets punched for Canton.
That's right. He's the only one that doesn't. And, you know, and the thing is, what's so good about what he has accomplished this year is he said it was time for him to come back. He wanted to have fun again, and he wanted to prove something because he felt like he let the game down.
Makes you want to root for him, doesn't it? 3rd and 10. Justin hit as he throws, incomplete, down at the 42. Would have been another first down. Red Hall putting the pressure on Paul Justin, who gets up holding the right shoulder.
He has taken some shots. A couple on his hands. This time, he's stepping into the throw as it comes to him. That's Red Hall. 97 just going to unload as he hits him and gets that right shoulder and elbow just buried into the turf.
Gardocki with the number 1 net punting average in the NFL, which is far more important than the gross average you hear about all the time. Not his best kick there. Say on the return had a seam up the middle, got to the 33. 14-yard return after a 39-yard punt. 3rd quarter, 23-3, Indianapolis.
NFL Special is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you? By the Braun Flex Integral, for Braun's closest shave yet. And by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers.
23-3. Colts with the lead. 13:04 to go, 3rd quarter. Eagles ball. And Paul Justin trying to work on that right shoulder. He is in obvious pain as he was slammed into the turf. Draw to Waters. And the Colts just swarming on defense. More bad news for the most injured team in all of football. Phil Yeboah-Cody, a linebacker, is out. Damon Watts, broken arm. He is gone.
Looks like Justin may not be able to come back. Damon Watts in a cast already in his civvies.
It's just unbelievable.
They just keep playing. Who's ever on the field just keeps playing hard.
Second and 7. Turner can't hold the pass.
That's the 5th drop pass tonight by a Philadelphia Eagle. And in this kind of a passing attack, Mike, they don't take the big shots. What they try and do is methodically move the ball down the field. And if you're not catching the ball, it sets off what John Gruden's trying to do with his calls. And it gives Ty Detmer a lack of an opportunity to convert third downs.
That is Kerwin Bell, who's talking to Paul Justin. If Justin can't go, Bell would be the guy. Detmer under pressure. Tony Bennett and McCoy are chasing him. The pass, is it in or out of bounds? The official on the spot was knocked down. The late call will give them the catch at the sideline, and now there's going to be a disagreement between the officials. Chris T. Jones made the catch. The only question was he in bounds?
Detmer does a good job to move around a little bit to make a throw. Of course, Ray Rhodes anxiously awaiting the decision. Incomplete pass.
That's not what he wanted to hear either.
No, that is not the words he was looking for.
Paul Justin going to the locker room. Another one of the walking wounded.
And here's the play on the sidelines. Remember, both feet have to be in.
I can't tell.
Well, there's another shot of it. No, they said he didn't have control. The one foot didn't quite get down, and he didn't look like he had control of it.
The right foot came up as he was catching the ball. It wasn't on the ground when he had possession. Stabline waiting for the punt of Tom Hutton.
What?
Hutton, another beautiful high sailing. Stabline buried in his tracks. Johnny Thomas downfield on special teams, 54-yard punt. There is Kerwin Bell, the former Gator. It will be his chance when we come back. Onto the locker room to have his right shoulder looked at. Now we are going to have 13 quarterback Kerwin Bell. The emergency quarterback is Jim Harbaugh. If he comes into the ball game now, nobody else but Harbaugh can play quarterback to the fourth quarter. The problem is Harbaugh can't play quarterback.
Yeah, but Kerwin Bell has worked as much as Paul Justin because Jim Harbaugh has gone down. So you're not going to have a quarterback situation where a guy is totally rusty coming off the bench to play.
Those are his numbers from the CFL in '95. His latest year, he threw for over 3,000 yards. Marshall Faulk protecting the ball with both hands. Out over the 10 to about the 12. Kevin Johnson made the tackle. By position, here are the number of starters on the Colts defense. Look at this. Left linebacker and right linebacker. 4 different guys have started at each one of those positions, and you have at least 3 at all the rest. Have 2 other guys with season-ending injuries already tonight. It's unbelievable.
You wonder how Jim Johnson can get it done, the defensive coordinator.
Lamont Warren, the backup running back, he's out tonight. So Faulk has to be relieved by Vince Workman on occasion. Faulk again. Huge hole off the right side. Marshall Faulk covering up the ball. Zordich makes the catch at the 47. Zordich made the tackle. Until that play, his longest run of the year had been 16 yards. That one went for 43.
And that one was run behind Tony Mandrich on the right side. And Kent Dilger, the tight end, does a terrific job. Number 85, Ken Dilger seals down. Mandrich kicks out. I mean, that's just some real great footwork. And there's the hole in the crease. I'll tell you, Marshall has got some confidence back in that foot, Mike. A few weeks ago, he would not have accelerated like that through the hole.
Workman comes in to give him a breather. Workman, big hole. Coming off of last week's performance, you would have to think this is the tightest knit group in the world. They went to war together last week. They're doing it again this week.
The thing is they keep getting into football games where people keep telling them they can't play. You don't have enough healthy bodies to go play Buffalo. Doesn't matter. You don't have enough bodies to go play the Eagles. It doesn't matter. This football team is just finding ways to dominate, but the credit are the guys up front. Those 5 guys up front are controlling the game for the Colts.
From the Eagles, 35. Workman. 1.5 yards, and that's all.
Mike, I'll tell you what else is very important for Kerwin Bell. By getting Marshall Faulk and Workman running the football like they have, it allows him to get into the flow of the game, allows that adrenaline to settle down. So when he does have to make a throw, it'll be one where he's had a little chance to work up a lather.
Kerwin Bell has racked up the frequent flyer mileage. He started with Miami as a 7th-round draft choice in '88. Then Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the Jets. Then he went to the CFL, played in Sacramento, and then played for Edmonton. Faulk is back in. End around to Harrison. Wydell blocking for him. What a move he put on Farmer and got down to the 30. In the open field, Harrison with that speed is scary.
And one thing, when I had a chance to talk to Marvin Harrison, I said, what do you think is your strength? He said, the thing that is my strength and that I really haven't had a chance to do is get the ball in the open field and run with it. We saw what he could do a little bit there. He's been the punt returner for the Colts, but they wanted to save him as a wide receiver and not wear him out as the punt returner.
Came into the program with no ego whatsoever, just whatever I have to do.
And the play selection you see by the Colts, 5 runs, no passes since Paul Justin left the game.
Bell in the shotgun. Movement up front, they'll whistle the play dead.
And a snap. False start. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Mike, if I'm Emmett Thomas, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles, I throw everything I got at Kerwin Bell right now. I don't give him a chance to set. First of all, he's in the shotgun, which means that if the blitz is coming, he's going to have to focus on the ball and then get it off. And that's what I think Emmett's got to do here. It takes him out of field goal range. It's a chance for a bad throw or possibly an interception. Those are the good things that can happen for the Eagles if they go after him.
And they can ill afford to let Indianapolis score again. They're already up by 20.
And if they don't go after him, he may get some time to read the defense.
Darian Connor, pass rush specialist in there. Bell floats it to Faulk. Marshall Faulk turns the corner. 1st down.
Yeah, a quarterback just coming in off the bench, a 3rd and long, I think you go after him. You don't let him comfortably sit back there, get the ball out, and allow Marshall Faulk to make the play. Kerwin does a nice job. This is a good throw. Again, I say, this is, I think, the toughest. Marshall just outruns the secondary, knows where the sticks are, gets out of bounds.
Paul Justin, the report on him, a sprained and bruised right AC shoulder joint. And they're still evaluating him whether he can come back in or not. Vince Workman in at running back. And they're going to get a big dose of Workman and Faulk up the middle. Looking ahead a little bit, you've got Jim Harbaugh, who is going to have 10 days off after this game in order to heal the injury to his knee. They are hopeful he would be able to come back in 10 days.
Michael, he's going to need every day, too. I saw him work out at practice the other day. He can't step to his left when he throws. That's the problem he has. I mean, if he has to in this game, he could go in and hand off and work out of the shotgun. But believe me, he would be not Captain Comeback running around like he used to.
Look at this drive. 4 minutes, now 5 minutes, 67 yards. Out of the eye, Workman the deep man. And they're doing it behind Kerwin Bell, the number 3 man on the quarterback depth chart. Down to the 20. Of course, they've been using the number 3 man on the depth chart at virtually every position for this team.
Yeah, it's like all these guys have played together.
That's right.
I mean, in training camp, they were all together, and what they've done is just work their way down.
Falk getting a little bit of a well-earned breather. Up to 80 yards tonight.
Now, if you're Kerwin Bell in this case, first of all, you take the 40-second clock and keep using it to your advantage. But you're smart with your throw. Don't try and force it, because you just give Blanchard a chance to add 3. So this one, it's got to be, this play has got to come off with his head as much as his arm.
3rd and 7. 4-man rush. Bell with time to Harrison. Touchdown. There is a penalty marker down, but that is going to be against the Eagles. That was interference. Don Griffin couldn't stay with Harrison.
That's interference. Number 28 in the defense. Coming decline. 7.
Marvin Harrison has got great quick feet, and you'll notice he does not wait for this ball to come to him. He's going to go get it. He's going to reach out and touch someone, and that's the football. See how he goes and gets it? He just uses his body.
Hey, Harbaugh, Justin, Bell, who's next? It doesn't matter. These guys are playing their heart out, and they lead 30-3. The Eagles are stunned. Kerwin Bell, 3rd-string quarterback off the bench with a touchdown strike to Harrison. Oh, you can print that one. You never quit, neither do we. And they are on their feet here in Indianapolis.
Takes it on the goal line. Taken down at the 35.
Holding. Number 58 on the return. 10 yards. Timeout.
6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 30-3 Colts. Pretty much says it all for the Philadelphia Eagles. Darrell Boykin showing the same response as the rest of his teammates. They have been waxed here in Indianapolis. Here are the standings coming into the game. If Philadelphia loses, they drop a game behind Dallas and Washington in the loss column. And what they have left after tonight, the Jets and Arizona, games they'll be favored in. Dallas, Arizona, New England, and at Washington, the Redskins, Tampa Bay, Arizona, and Dallas.
Everybody's got to play coming down through December.
Ricky Waters back in the lineup. Detmer under pressure. Tony Bennett from behind.
Mike, you hear it so often. That was a coverage sack. Ty Detmer set short. Jim Johnson's defense just doesn't allow him a place to go with the football. Receivers are lined up. Look at the coverage. Everybody's covered. There's nowhere for him to go with the football.
They are doing this without Tony Saragusa, Stephen Grant, Quentin Coriat, Ray Buchanan, and David Tate. Those are all starters. More pressure by Bennett and an incomplete pass right in the face of Ty Detmer.
What the ends are doing is they're just pushing back to the depth of Detmer and just taking physically the tackles and running them back in his face. Look at the pressures. 8 pressures, 5 quarterback hits, 2 batted balls. That's very critical to what Jim Johnson wanted to accomplish. 3 INTs and 1 sack.
3rd and 14. Here comes Bennett again. So's McCoy. Detmer has to get out of bounds, and he is ripped. Ellis Johnson.
#1 draft pick last year out of Florida. The kid can run, and he just showed you right there that he can keep up with Ty Detmer.
He only outweighs Detmer by 100 pounds, and he outran him. Another standing ovation for the defense. Stabline waits at his 40. Out of bounds near midfield. Relentless pressure from the Indianapolis defense. They have swarmed over Detmer and the Eagles.
Indianapolis, the Colts defense back in our spotlight. We talked about the middle pressure, where it's been a package where they've gotten pressure all over the field, and they've changed it up. Take a look at what worked early on. We talked about the middle pressure. Morrison through the middle, forces Detmer back outside. Now later what they've done is forced Detmer to throw the ball in outside lanes, and there goes Morrison again, this time with a tip ball. And later, watch Richard Dent forcing the lane and getting his hands up, making a problem for Ty Detmer in the throwing lanes. Mike?
Mark, it has been a remarkable performance by that Colts defense. Falk and Gross, the running backs. Marshall Falk leans that shoulder, dives forward. William Thomas and Mike Mamula make the tackle. 4:39 to go, third quarter. Back to Mark.
The score 30-3, but a lot of that has been all defense. Here's the Colts defensive pressure. Eagle pass attempts 30, 1 sack, quarterback pressures 9, 4 of those up the middle, and they have had an effect. Batted balls, their goal was 5, they have 2. The result, 1 interception. It's been a nice game plan, inside, outside, giving Detmer problems all night. Mike?
And Mark, you might want 5 batted balls, but when one goes for an interception, I don't think you care about the rest. 2nd and 4. Ball hit in the backfield. That's the 2nd time that Fuller has been able to get inside, make a big stop on a running play.
And really, Mike, that's the first time in this game that the defense has come up with anything that resembles a big hit. I think defensively, the Eagles have been flat. They've not been able to make a play. And Fuller, we saw him club Tony Mandrich last time. Now he takes him on and just stands him right up. And Marshall Falk tries to go outside, and William Fuller's just waiting for him.
Yeah, you couldn't blame that one on Mandrich. That was just a nice job by Fuller reacting to Falk's move. 3rd and 6. Draw to Falk. And it looked like Mandrich out in front throwing a block, and it was. 1st down, Colts.
You know, Mike, when you just can come out and run the football, you have totally taken the spirit out of a defensive team. And it's the blocking up front that continues to make it happen. This time they spread the Eagles out. Kerwin Bell is in the shotgun. Tony Mandrich comes from the other side to make a play. Now that's a pulling 318-pound right tackle.
And he just mauled Zordich. Falk now up to 91 yards. A season high. His previous was only 55. He's also racked up 40 yards catching passes. Workman. Boy, are they working holes in the middle of that line.
Mike, you can also see the look on Marshall Falk's face. When you're hurt, you can't practice. When you can't practice, you can't stay in condition. And that's why having Workman come in and do the job that he's doing allows Marshall to get a little bit of his wind back. That man's exhausted.
And amazing coming from him. He is one of the most well-conditioned, naturally, athletes. But you're right. If you can't keep up with it. Colts averaging 5.1 yards a carry tonight. Workman. This time up from the secondary, James Fuller. along with Greg Jefferson, number 79, as the Eagles trying to rotate some defensive linemen.
I still believe that that's what Emmett Thomas has got to do. There's a minute and 35 seconds left in this quarter. They got 15 minutes to try and make plays. Their defense has got to make a couple of plays. And the only way he's going to be able to do that is to commit safeties and linebackers to blitzing. Yeah, you may take a chance, but Kerwin Bell throwing to these wide receivers, you got to take that chance.
Third and 3. May have been some early movement. Looked like Kip Vickers, who's in there at left tackle, got an early start back.
Snap. Have a false start. Number 71 of the offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
Vickers, the free agent out of Miami. Joe, let me ask you, if this holds, we heard Ray Rhodes say how painful it was to lose that 3 in a row before they came back last week. If they lose this game based on their performance, what is this going to do to them in the remainder of the regular season?
Well, Mike, the 3 games they lost, they were in every one of those football games. It wasn't like they were dominated. The Colts have dominated them here. You can say part of it is the short week, but hey, the Colts had a short week with fewer players. And Jeff Lurie, the owner, is looking at this thing and just really has to be stunned. I think it hurts their confidence going down the road, Mike.
Third and 8. Kerwin Bell. Harrison to the 10. Michael Zordich with the tackle.
I'm telling you something. He just owns Donald Griffin. He makes a move on Griffin right now. It's unbelievable. Troy Vitzen plays that left corner. They're missing him a lot. Don Griffin isn't within 4 yards. Watch this. He's up top the screen. Now Griffin's backing off. And here's that little burst. Look at that. Griffin just totally loses him. That's easier than 7-on-7 right there.
Harrison, 6 catches, 106 yards on the night. And that is the end of the third quarter. Total domination by the Colts in their final home game. They lead it 30-3. The Colts are continuing this amazing play with half of their roster visiting the hospital.
I think they just as soon play on Sunday and keep this thing going. Why not? Bill Tobin just has done a terrific job. It's easy to go find starters. There's a lot of guys that have star quality. The tough challenge is finding people that can play behind your starters. He has done it.
Marshall Faulk with Gross in front of him. Faulk, that little stutter step down to about the 7.
You know why I like this choice of play selection? I wouldn't be surprised if Lindy comes out and runs it again. You're using up 40 seconds every time you do that. You're shortening this game and not allowing the Eagle offense on the field. This is just good play selection by a coach and good execution by his offense.
Since Kerwin Bell has come into the game, they have run 16 plays and picked up 135 yards. That's from your third-team quarterback. Faulk on the toss. Marshall Faulk, touchdown.
He may not be all the way back, but he's back. He's back enough. Brian Stabline, number 86, makes this happen.
Look at the smile on Lindy's face.
Watch this. He's congratulating Brian Stabline. You watch him seal the corner. 85 Dilger makes it. Here comes, look at that. Brian, number 86. Stabline just comes in, and there's nobody out there. Marshall goes in with an escort, untouched.
Marshall fought 16 carries, 101 yards, his first 100-yard game of the season, and 2 touchdowns. The route is on. And it's all smiles if you're in blue and white. Marshall Faulk. You have missed some effort by the Colts. 37-3. Marshall Faulk being congratulated on the sideline for his first 100-yard rushing game in 26 games. And injuries have been the only thing to hold him back. Paul Justin with the sprained AC joint in his shoulder. He is given away to Kerwin Bell, and it hasn't made any difference. Witherspoon will take a knee.
This ESPN NFL special is brought to you by Honda. Vehicles designed to help simplify your life. By AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's smart money.
How dominant has the Indianapolis Colts defense been? The Philadelphia Eagles have 1 yard in the second half. Count them. 1. Detmer wants the screen. Turner to the 31-yard line. Tackled by Steve Morrison,
Mike,
the undrafted free agent out of Michigan.
If the Eagles are going to run the football at all, it's just going to be to slow down the rush of the Indianapolis front four. Now is a time where I don't see Jim Johnson pulling back a little bit. I think he's just going to keep on sending those linebackers, keep on making Ty Detmer get rid of the football. I just don't see him backing off one bit.
Detmer to Waters. Waters went down, hit the ground, the ball came loose, but they'll blow it dead. Richard Jones was over there in coverage.
We all know the ground cannot cause a fumble, and if we didn't, you just found out. As he hits the ground, the ball just comes out when he's on the ground.
It will be second call at 3. Justin over there talking to Kerwin Bell. They've both had a great time tonight. Waters. Nice hole off the left side across midfield. Whacked down at the 47-yard line. Nice block by Guy McIntyre, the veteran offensive lineman.
Mike, what John Gruden, the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, wants to try and do at this stage of the game is he wants to try and get some confidence back in his offense. What right now has happened, his offense, they've dropped the ball. There's no confidence in anybody. Ty Detmer's just got to get a drive going. You got to get Ricky Waters running the football. You got to get them feeling a little bit good about themselves before this thing's over.
Detmer with good protection. Solomon picks up about 9. He's pushed out of bounds by Richard Jones. Jones, this is how bad it is in the secondary, was just elevated from the practice squad this week. I mean, they're just playing with guys that, you know, anybody with a pulse that can fit one of those uniforms.
If you get into a blue uniform, come on out and play.
And they played well. Second and 1. Waters, first down and more. Waters down just inside the 25-yard line. There's a marker down on the play. Richard Jones again with the tackle along with Ray McElroy. And this one will come back.
In all likelihood, that's going to be on Ed West.
Holding. Offense. Number 83. 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
That's Ed West, the tight end. Hope you'll join us next Thursday evening for a night of gridiron greats from Walt Disney World in Orlando. It starts at 7:30 with a Pro Bowl selection show as Mike Tirico, Joe Theismann, and Tom Jackson will announce this year's Pro Bowl squad. Then at 8:30, join Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Kirk Herbstreit for the Home Depot College Football Awards Show. They'll honor the top collegians of 1996. A big night of gridiron greats next Thursday beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
And I would think that Gary Blanchard and Chris Cardacchi might well be on that team.
Second and 11. They'll be watching. Detmer, a wobbler over the middle, incomplete.
That one was tipped again by Richard Dent.
That's 3.
It's really unbelievable. Richard is a tall, thin guy. Of course, he's 290, but he's tall and thin. What they do is they bring him from the end. This time they bring him, he slides on into the middle. See Dent slide to the middle? He stops. He's just looking at Detmer. He throws McIntyre away and then just jumps up and knocks it down. That's just really knowing the defensive concept. That's the third knockdown.
Guy still has a pretty good vertical jump, doesn't he? Detmer under pressure on 3rd and 11 over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Say. Ray McElroy got there and knocked it down.
And Tony McCoy got so close to knocking the ball out of Detmer's hands, it forced the timing of the pass to be off.
If you go back early in this game when Detmer had the 3 balls dropped that all were hit or tipped by Irving Fryer, catches that weren't made that could have kept drives alive, those are big turning points.
They really were.
Hutton to punt to Stabline. High wobbler, Stabline lets it go. And nearly saved by the Eagles. A 48-yard punt. Jason Dunn nearly made the big play. The Colts defense has allowed 1 field goal tonight. Remarkable performance by the Indianapolis Colts. They are leading the Eagles 37-3 with 11:01 to go in the ball game. And what this will do for Indianapolis is give them a half-game lead on San Diego and Houston, the 2 other teams that came into tonight as 3 fighting for that 1 wild card playoff spot that's remaining. And the remaining schedule, San Diego, they've got the tough road at Pittsburgh, at Chicago, and then Denver. That's our final regular season game on ESPN. Houston plays at Jacksonville this weekend. The Colts have to go on the road their last 2. Workman turning the corner, pushed out of bounds after a short game.
Now, people instantly might think and say, geez, don't run out of bounds, don't run out of bounds. But that clock won't stop till we get inside of 5 minutes. So this clock will start right up again, so you don't have to worry about not burning the clock even if you do go out of bounds.
That was a rule they instituted a couple of years ago to help speed up games. Falk, season high in his first 100-yard game in 26 starts. And he looked better tonight than he has in a long, long time, playing with the after effects of that dislocated big toe. Workman. How about this for a controversy? Now you've got Jim Harbaugh waiting to get healthy.
Right.
Paul Justin and Kerwin Bell. There is a 3-way quarterback controversy in Indianapolis. We have not had one of those since Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Kilmer, and Joe Theismann were on the same roster with the Redskins. That's the last time there was a 3-way argument.
Yeah, and you know something? It'll be decided the same way. Jim's going to be the quarterback just like Billy was.
That's right.
Here we are. The controversy kids, here we are.
Oh, we're always trying to stir something up.
I know that.
3rd and 4. Workman on the draw. Slips a tackle and goes down short of the first down. Tackle by Hollis Thomas, the rookie out of Northern Illinois. They worked the play clock down to 1 second on all 3 of those snaps, doing exactly what they wanted to do.
Every one of the quarterbacks that play for Lindy and Fonte understand the quarterback position totally. That means use up the clock when you can. Do smart things with the football. Get it out in rhythm. They all understand what to do at that position.
Gardocki to kick to Say. Low snap, fields it on the first hop. The beauty of artificial turf for a punter. Say makes the fair catch and then is hit. That'll draw a flag. A punt of only 31 yards, and coverage guys have to make sure they know, like Chris Hetherington, if it was a fair catch signal or not. Hetherington, the former Yale quarterback. And even if you just bump the guy, you've got to throw the flag. He's totally vulnerable.
Yeah, you cannot touch him, period. And you shouldn't be able to. Being a former punt returner, I appreciate that.
Well, let's see. They've changed rules to help punt returners and quarterbacks. You've benefited from all this.
Everything. If I was back now, I might be playing a little longer.
And Hetherington is the one who comes out of that play injured.
You know, they may not have 45 next week. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, we've seen 3 go down tonight again.
Well, keep in mind, if they don't, if they're right up against the salary cap, if they have players injured, they can't sign other people to come in and take their place.
You wind up dressing 42, 43 if you can.
The officials still discussing this play. There's Jim Harbaugh. They hope to have him back in 10 days.
Well, to me, what you've got is you've got an offensive foul by the Colts on the kicking team, which means that somebody was downfield too early or holding. And over here, you have running into the kicker. Now, I've just explained kick returner. I've just explained what I think the 2 penalties are in about one umpteenth the time of the officials.
Come on. There are 2 fouls on the play. We have holding during the kick on number 56. We have a personal foul on number 44 after the reception. Penalties offset. We're going to re-kick.
Would that have been your judgment?
Yeah. I mean, if they're offsetting penalties, if one's by one team, one's by the other, you wipe it off and go.
Hetherington being treated on the sideline, the most injured team in professional football. Who was the least injured team, you asked? The Denver Broncos with the best record. And the possession. The Eagles had the slight edge in the first half, but in the second half, it is 3-1 Colts. As a result of the Colts winning tonight and the Eagles losing, the Green Bay Packers are guaranteed a playoff spot. Our congratulations to Mike Holmgren and his guys. Getting healthy again, and with getting
yep, Antonio Freeman back, Chamora maybe back
right.
this week, maybe next week.
Look out.
And you aren't going to believe this, Mike, but there's still the discussion going on with the officials.
Oh, you're right.
Now what they're doing is they're bringing it back. Now they're going back to the point here. Dale's going to
Correction.
Thank you.
Correction. We have a holding foul against 56 of the receiving team. We have a personal foul on number 44 of the kicking team.
We knew that. Go ahead.
Penalties will offset. The ball will be awarded at the spot at the end of the run. End of the run.
Well, that took a while. We'll be back in a second. Bit of a Christmas feeling here in Indianapolis today as we got a couple of inches of snow and a couple of more expected.
Gee, I wonder if there'll be anywhere we're going this weekend, Mike.
Yeah, there'll be a few. The Eagles, this is their worst loss since 1975 when they lost by 39 to the Rams. They're down by 34 tonight, and Ray Rhodes is not going to take very kindly to
Well, you know, Mike, in a short week when you have an offense like you have of the Eagles and Mark Rippon is now in at quarterback, it's hard to prepare because there's a lot of adjustments that you need to make and look at on practice field, and you don't have the time.
Mark Rippon takes over at quarterback. The former Washington Redskin who had took him to the playoffs a couple of times and to a Super Bowl win, had a couple of brilliant years.
They actually signed Mark off the golf course. He was trying to qualify for some Nike Tour events, and they coaxed him to come back. This is a good opportunity for Gruden to be able to get Rippon in there and get a little bit of work. In the event something may happen to Ty Detmer, Rippon's got to get some time and some reps.
Detmer's night finishes 17 out of 34, 182 yards, but those 3 big interceptions. Go to the ground game with Charlie Garner.
Rodney Peete on the sidelines. You know, Ray Rhodes told us, he said, you got to have 2 good quarterbacks. And they feel like they do. And Detmer and Peete coming up when they'll be healthy next year. Tonight he can find nothing good about what's going on.
This guy's a terrific coach. He has done wonderful things with this ball club tonight notwithstanding. Rippon under pressure from behind, throws on the run to Fryer. Fryer has a first down to the Colts 47-yard line, where Richard Jones, just up from the practice squad, makes his 5th tackle on the night.
You know, Mike, as proud a man as Irving Fryer is, he's got to be most disappointed in his performance tonight. Never had a reputation, doesn't have a reputation for not hanging on to the football. Yet he's had a couple of fairly easy ones get away from him this evening.
4 catches tonight. He has dropped 3. He is only 4 away from the all-time Eagles club record with 2 games to go in the regular season. Rippon airs this one out too high for Fryer. He was covered again by Richard Jones.
You know, Mike, I don't think that this offense complements what Mark Rippon does as a quarterback.
No.
He's a bigger guy. Takes a little more time to set in the pocket and make decisions. I mean, he's going to fight you, and he's a tough guy. But physically, I don't think that this offense complements what he does. He had the situation in Washington his last year under Richie Pettibone, and the offense didn't fit him there.
Really likes to go down the field, and he's very good at it. Here comes the big rush. Rippon unloads, and off the fingertips, incomplete. The NFL's best pregame show, NFL Countdown, every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. as Chris Berman and the gang will preview all the action. Then at 7 p.m. it's prime time, where you'll see all the highlights of all the day's games. And at 8 p.m. we'll be in Detroit as Barry Sanders and the Lions take on the Minnesota Vikings. Lions record doesn't matter. It's always just a joy to see Barry Sanders, but it's a huge game for Minnesota. With Philadelphia losing tonight, they can go up to 8-6 in the playoff picture, and they are still alive. Chris T. Jones, the intended target of that Rippon pass, but it's wide and incomplete.
What you really see is, I think, just a lot of rust. Mark hasn't had a chance to really get out and throw the ball around a lot in the last couple years.
This is his first action this year.
Yeah. Finished the year pretty strong last year. But really hasn't, just hasn't got the work.
Tom Hutton to punt to Stabline with 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go. This one was over a long while ago at 37-3, but I think there's been 5 people leave this building. They have enjoyed every second of it the last 2 weeks, in fact. Hutton, a beautiful high spiral that almost died inside the 5. A 46-yard punt, no return. Back in a moment, 37-3.
Indianapolis, the Colts in our Packard Bell spotlight. They have done a great job up front, both in the passing game, but especially in the rush. Marshall Faulk had a big night, and it's all because of this man, Mandridge, on the draw, takes Jefferson and manhandles him. And how about the cross buck right here, the power play? Mandridge logging him outside, and the big run inside, and of course, look at Stabline there with a hit. Running to the right as Marshall Faulk scores yet another touchdown. It has been a huge night for the offensive line because of that man. Take a look at these numbers. They rushed 29 times for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. 7 of those rushes have gone to the right side for 74 yards behind Mandridge. Opponent tackles, he's only given up 3.5. One of those, of course, the sack. They are a new offensive football team with Mandridge, Mike.
And Mark, this was a team that came in 27th in the league rushing the ball, 26th in the league in terms of total offense. They certainly did not look at tonight. And Workman adding more yardage to the total across the 25 to the 27. James Fuller makes the tackle.
You know, Mike, you'd think if you look at the scoring, you say, well, why don't they put some of the other people in? The other people have been in. I mean, the Colts have nobody to go to on the offensive line to spell anybody.
Mandridge says he has one thing now that he never had coming out of Michigan State, and that is humility. Certainly a humbling experience to be drafted where he was and then discarded right out of the league and be gone for 4 years. Workman back to the line of scrimmage. Mandridge was out of football, of course, for 4 years. He talked to us about why he came back.
I think I embarrassed myself. I think I embarrassed the game. I think I embarrassed Green Bay. And, you know, whether this is a way of making amends for the whole thing or making, you know, amends with myself also. It's something that I felt had to be done. And, you know, I took the action and did it and hoped it worked out.
Certainly worked out tonight for the big fella. 6'5", 317. 3rd and 4 for Kerwin Bell, who has played extremely well in there and hit Dawkins. First down for Dawkins out to the 35-yard line. James Fuller with a tackle.
I'm going to add to your controversy a little bit for you. Kerwin Bell is 4 for 4 for 70 yards and a touchdown. And all 4 of the passes have been on 3rd down musts. Now, that's converting 3rd down. I'm telling you, Mike, that you just fueled a tremendous international controversy here.
Will it be Harbaugh, Justin, or Bell?
I don't know. Stay tuned.
Well, you know somebody's going to bring that up here.
Nah.
Tough to beat this. 4 out of 4, 70 yards and a score. Mark Stock, number 10, checks into the ball game. There's Justin, who injured the right shoulder. Workman again, picking his way through tacklers.
You know, this is the part of a football game that offensive linemen enjoy. When the score is like this, they know that they can just level back and go after people. Unfortunately, you got another Colt down on the turf.
And this is the middle link to the offensive line. Kirk Loudermilk, the 12-year veteran center, starting his 107th straight game tonight. They can ill afford to lose him or anybody else. Thin does not describe what position this team has reached.
And after 12 years, you know there's a lot of wear and tear on those knees anyway.
The Colts will have 10 days to recuperate after this one before they play again the following Sunday. Eric Malum will move over and play the center spot.
And Kerwin Bell and Eric Malum just went over to the sidelines to try and get a few quick snaps in. There they are working on it. Take one more just for the heck of it. Okay, now we got to go back. Now we got to go do it for real. Can't really see with all the traffic going on what happened.
Looked like he got his left foot planted and then really stretched the leg out. Hopefully he's going to be all right. This team can be really proud of itself. They have reached down 2 weeks in a row to beat very good football teams in critical situations. Workman. Mamula crashing in from his defensive end spot.
See the left foot planted right there? That's Kurt Loudermilk. And there it is. You see him get it bent back. Tell you, this, you know, when you have turf, of course, in domes, Mike, a lot of guys wear just baseball or basketball sneakers so that there's a little bit of give. Kurt decides to go with the turf shoe that has a little more grip to it, and you can't pull it out when people start rolling around on top of it.
Another 3rd down for Kerwin Bell has been perfect. Throws in the flat. Workman with a one-hand catch. What a move. He won't get the first down, but that was worth seeing. One-hand grab and a great deke in the smile on Kerwin Bell's face.
Yeah, when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, you throw it anywhere, guys make one-handed catches for you. Lindy Infante is going to have a real tough time with game balls. And I think Jim Irsay is going to wind up springing for about 45 of them.
It'd be well worth the investment. They've earned it. And Loudermilk will see his night end. 10 days off, and this club will have a well-earned rest and a chance to get healthy, at least healthier. Say is back to take the punt. Clock running, 3:09 to go. Gardocki with another pretty kick. Say at the 5. Across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Nice return by Say, 19 yards after a 53-yard punt. Ray McElroy on the tackle. Our bronze storyline from the RCA Dome. If it was a heavyweight fight, they would have stopped it. 37-3 in the second half. Total dominance, 195 to 56 yards for Indianapolis. Falk with his first 100-yard game in 26 starts, and the turnovers did in Philadelphia. 3 interceptions. That led to 13 points.
And Mike, you know, keep in mind, the Eagles, defensively in particular, are a very young football team. They start Farmer, a rookie, at one side. You got Bobby Taylor only in his second year. You got Brian Dawkins at safety starting as a rookie. And Ty Detmer's really just started his 9th game. I mean, this is a very young football team.
Garner on the draw. Charlie Garner with excellent speed to the 43-yard line. Dedrick Mathis, the rookie who had a fine game at corner, makes the tackle. It's a gain of 18.
Go to the other side. You got Jason Dunn at tight end for the Eagles, is a rookie. I mean, you got a lot of people that haven't really played in this system yet.
Sports Center coming up. We'll have news from the 49ers camp. Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn standing by, the Clippers and the Bulls, and we'll take a look at Florida State against Duke as the ACC gets cranked up for conference play. Mark Rippon over the middle to Fryer, and he paid the price. Well, if Jason Belser isn't the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, the balloting is rigged.
The thing is, funny, he didn't want to be in the spotlight. He wanted to make sure that we didn't put him in the spotlight, but he's done it to himself. You can't help it. Look at this hit. Just knocking people over.
2 picks and a touchdown, and hits like that some night for Belser. That's dedication. 10 hours drive, skip 2 days of classes just to say Sports Center is next.
Same thing you and I did to get here.
Yes, sir. So we didn't skip any classes. Rippon throws, and it's complete to Chris T. Jones down at the 37.
I think what's important for the Eagles is that they get out of this thing healthy. You don't want to lose anybody in a game like this, and you still want to try and get some work for the people that need it, like Mark Rippon.
Troy Vincent with a sprained knee. He is out since early in the game. Brian Dawkins, groin pull. He's been out since early in the game. So the Eagles coming out of this game with some injuries as well as a beating. Rippon throws underneath. Turner powers his way inside the 25. Elijah Alexander made the tackle. ABC's Monday Night Football comes your way at 9 p.m. Eastern with one of the most intense rivalries in all the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs invade Oakland to take on the Raiders. Rippon trying to get a consolation score out of this drive. Garner inside the 20. And we are humbly proud to announce that we will be able to join our ABC colleagues for one of the wild card playoff games. Found that out today. We're very proud of that, and we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely looking forward to the opportunity to continue the excellence that ABC sets the standards of.
Rippon in the flat to Turner. Turner trying to make something else out of it. A flag is down.
Thing is, Mike, the way this season is going and the way the wild cards are going out, this thing's going to go down right to the wire. I mean, you're looking at the last weekend of the season probably decide who goes where.
And this one will come back. There hasn't been much of anything that's gone right for the Eagles tonight.
Illegal block in the back. Number 84 on the run. 10 yards. Still second down.
It's Freddie Solomon who was downfield trying to throw a block.
You know, Mike, when you think of the Colts as a football team, they define professionalism to me.
Absolutely.
No matter what excuses they could make for not doing well, they don't accept it. And an awful lot of that credit goes to that man, Lindy Infante.
Well, we've talked about courage and heart, and that may seem corny to some people. You don't win without heart.
No.
You don't.
And you know something? You don't win in this league not having your backup step up and play. Especially in a short week. I mean, they've been short-manned forever.
The Eagles' top-round draft choice, who hasn't been able to do anything for them tonight, offensive tackle Jermaine Mayberry, has been sidelined since having pneumonia in August, but he is having a big impact off the field. Mayberry is legally blind in his left eye, and he donated $100,000 to fund the Eagles' eye mobile, which gives free exams and glasses to youngsters throughout Philadelphia. And Jermaine Mayberry, who they really want to be able to play before the end of this year, could be a big factor during his career for the Philadelphia Eagles, and certainly what he has done for children in the Philadelphia area is to be applauded.
Mike, I'm going to throw just a little bit more fuel into your quarterback controversy.
What would that be?
Kerwin Bell's rating, 158.3. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Some food for thought.
Well, just in case somebody thinks we're being serious about this, this, to me, is Jim Harbaugh's football team, open and closed case. And when he's healthy, he's going to play.
You don't have to say that.
Yeah, every time we make a joke about something, somebody somewhere takes it seriously.
You were joking?
Thanks.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of guys smiling on that sideline.
And not that Paul Justin hasn't played exceptionally well in 2 games, and Kerwin Bell looked great coming in tonight.
I think the problem with his shoulder is going to be one that'll be able to be taken care of and should be ready to go in 10 days as well.
Some great players on the field Sunday night when we visit Detroit. Chris Carter working on going into the top 10 all-time in the NFL, and Barry Sanders, they stamped Hall of Fame on his passport when he showed up.
I love what Marcus Allen said about Barry Sanders. He said he's the most exciting runner in football.
Good evaluation. 3rd and 1. Rippon dumps it. Garner gets down to the 8-yard line. Elijah Alexander making the tackle. And I believe the Eagles called timeout with 9 seconds left. At that time of year, a full slate of college basketball Saturday on ESPN, starting at 12:30 from the ACC, as Tim Duncan and Wake Forest will visit NC State. Then at 7, big matchup, Indiana against Kentucky, 2 top 10 teams. And at 9, Arkansas goes to play Norm Stewart's Missouri Tigers. Sports Center coming up with all the college scores from tonight's action.
There are 2 coaches I thought that just did a terrific job tonight. Jim Johnson on the right in the blue sweatshirt, Lindy Infante on the left, the respective offensive and defensive coordinators of this football team.
Well, you remember what Lindy said. He said it is a short week like this is tougher on the coaches than it is the players, really mentally, because they don't get any sleep all week. They're just trying to prepare for this. 9 seconds left. Rip into the end zone, touchdown. Irving Fryer makes the catch with 5 seconds on the clock.
Rip does a good job of standing tall on this one and just setting and firing.
Little smile crosses Mark's face. Very well executed drive.
You'll see him. He's number 80, the outside receiver. Starts up, makes the move inside. That's a pretty easy one. That's a pitch and catch. Over Richard Jones. Richard's had a busy night for a guy who just got moved up off the practice squad.
Hasn't he ever? Except for that play, he's played exceptionally well. Gary Anderson with a point after. The Eagles get their first touchdown of the night with 5 seconds to go in the game.
Big weekend this weekend, Mike. The Pro Bowl balloting is going to be after this weekend. A lot of guys have an opportunity to play for the prize to go to Hawaii. And there'll be some Colts playing for it. We got a chance tonight. The Eagles. Jason Belzer was so funny in the locker room. Willie Clark in our game got sort of lit up, I guess you could say. So Jason Belzer came up to me. He says, I don't want to be in your spotlight. I said, man, you ran him into the ground. You had him out of town in a hurry. He says, don't you dare put me in that spotlight. He says, I'm not going to give you that chance, Joe. He said, I am not going to give you a chance to cook me.
Tonight would have been the night, huh?
Yeah. Terrific football game.
Just brilliant.
Put him in the spotlight. He made his own tonight.
The Eagles lining up for an onside kick, and if you're wondering why, you try to execute things that you're going to have to execute the rest of the season and hopefully in the playoffs, and here's an opportunity to do it.
Well, the other thing is, I would never expect a Ray Rhodes team just to give anything up. He's not that nature of a man.
Anderson looking for that second bounce and doesn't get it. The Colts will be able to cover it. They executed one very well in Arizona. Brian Stabline up on the hands team was the guy who grabbed it.
He's done so many little things tonight so well. He got a great block on a Marshall Faulk touchdown. He winds up fielding punts for him, making good decisions. Here he comes up with the onside recovery.
Well, you know what the Colts fans are saying now? Hey, they called timeout to get a touchdown. Let's chuck one into the end zone.
I think what you do is you bring out Kerry Blanchard. Let him kick another one. But Lindy won't do that.
He is only one off the NFL record all time for field goals is Kerry Blanchard. He will not get the opportunity. And these fans are going to boo, leaving 37-10 winners.
This is the right thing to do.
Our final score, the Colts 37, the Eagles 10. Coming up next in Sports Center with Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn. The top stories they'll be following, news from the 49ers camp, highlights of the Clippers and the Bulls, as well as Florida State against Duke. For Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Indianapolis. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Marshall Faulk with his first 100-yard game of the year. Couldn't have come at a better time. Sports Center next.